Hello everyone, Vincent Briatore here again. Today we're going to discuss something very important, something that is close and dear to my heart, as well as I think for the rest of the cryptocurrency community, and that is how to distinguish whether a project is legitimate or is a scam, right? This kind of becomes complex because I think I've noticed that within like the cryptocurrency community, so many people come from like an MLM background, and so many of the people that start projects and so many of the actual users. I talked to a lot of people when I first got involved in cryptocurrency, and a lot of them were also involved in kind of pyramid schemish kind of thing, and I was always questioning, I'm like, well, why are you involved in that? That's not legit, like I never got involved in bitconnect. I never got involved in any of these skeezy weird things. There's enough uncertainty in the market without putting forth these things. So, let's just talk about it for a second. Like, you have one coin, they made out with billions of dollars. You have bitconnect, you have tons of these scams, and you have currently a lot of projects that are scams, and they come very close to a real project. So sometimes it's very difficult to distinguish the two. As an example, this this very common, and it used to be almost all scams. Now there's some legit, which is when they pay you like an interest on your cryptocurrency. Even Coinbase does it now. You lock your coins or you just hold your coins and you get paid a percentage in return. So how can you even tell if it's a scam or not? Well, the first thing you want to look at, is it a popular coin? Is it traded on multiple exchanges? That's the first and foremost. Anytime a coin, especially like an exchange token, is only traded on their own exchange, that's a red flag. So if it's not traded anywhere else, that's dangerous. I give you though, especially because it's probably a really low volume coin in the first place. But I see that a lot. It's just an exchange and they have their own coin, but then they switch it up on you to make it even scammier, and then they tell you, well, you got to lock your coins. So essentially, you put an investment that they turn into their token, but then it's locked. And I tell you, I've not seen any legitimate projects lock tokens for more than like 90 days. Like even crypto.com does something similar, where you lock the supply of coins for 3 to 4 months. Now, there's benefits to doing this even for a legitimate project, okay? Because it gives some stability to the coin so people aren't selling, whatever. But in a pyramid scam kind of situation, it's also very advantageous, right? Because you're paying new people. So the interest that they're paying you, they're just paying you with new investor money or your own money, really. And you can't trade in the principal. So really, it's one of those situations where you might get your money back. Like a lot of people made money off BitConnect, but that was just the initial people, right? First people that come in, they refer a bunch of people, they're making money. But if you're towards the end, then you're gone. Because at the end of the day, when the new money coming in is not enough to pay out the old people, the whole thing folds. Recently, I've gotten a bunch of emails of similar projects that want to do sponsorships. And so, I give everybody a chance and I look at these projects. And as soon as I see something like it's a token that's only traded on one exchange, no. As soon as they tell me, oh, we do a lockdown of the coins for 11 months, I'm like, that's scam. That's a scam. Okay, that is an absolute red flag. You should never lock in your token for a year. Why would you do that? You have no clue where Bitcoin's going to be in a year, where Ethereum's going to be in a year. Figurati some disgraziato token that somebody pulled out of their buttkis, and then they're going to tell you we're going to lock it down for a year, but we'll pay you a little interest. The daily 8%, like 8%. That means in the year that you lock down, you only got 8%. And then on paper, you may see the value go up a lot. A lot of these, they don't even have a blockchain behind it. One coin, they made out with billions of dollars. They didn't have a blockchain. They just had an SQL database. What's the difference? Obviously, it's not immutable. Anybody can go in there and change the database. So it defeats the entire purpose. So there's no real token. It was not traded anywhere else. BitConnect at the beginning probably was an SQL2. In the end, the BCC was BBC, the BCC token was traded elsewhere. But by then, like, it was just ridiculous. Nowadays, it's too easy to start a blockchain. It's very simple. You don't need really any technical knowledge. You can use the Waves platform. You create a token. So just because you have a blockchain doesn't really mean anything. You got to look at the data to see like the circulating supply, how much of the token they're holding. Because anytime they're holding and it's not circulating supply and it's a lot, sometimes even more than what's in circulating supply, they're going to just dump that. I could be that's my issue with Ripple kind of too, but that's a whole nother chapter. So these are the things you got to keep in mind. If you think it's a scam, just look into it more. A lot of these things, it just takes a couple of side steps to be considered a scam. In the same way that like Amway and Herbalife are pyramid schemes, but technically they call it MLM and it's legal. But just if they just do a couple of different things, it would be a scam. I think it has to do with revenue. I think a lot of times if most of the revenue comes from selling the products or from referrals, like you telling your friends, hey, get involved, that's what kind of shifts it. I think all of that stuff is very sketchy, So if a coin, you should never buy into a token that's only traded on one exchange, especially if it's its own exchange. Assume that all volume and data is manipulated, especially on these small exchanges. There's been rumors that even Binance and stuff was manipulating volume. And now you can't necessarily point the finger at Binance because people could be using bots, so it could be individual traders. But the point is, on these small exchanges, it's a wild west. So why risk it? Why risk it? First thing, somebody comes for a sponsorship, they need to be traded on more than one exchange. So they're controlling it. It may be a blockchain, but it's centralized in every sense of the meaning. And don't do any lockout for more than 90 days because like there are legitimate projects, where you lock up your coins for 90 days or whatever, or you hold the coins and they're paying interest. I mean, there's a lot of them. Tezos is doing it. Even Coinbase offers it on some of their coins. MCO, it's called staking, CRO, all kind of different stuff. They even offer loans against your crypto. And that's the problem, It's all in the verbiage. So you can never take things on, at face value. And these kind of things. So when I look into these scams, I'm just like, how do people fall for this stuff? How do they fall for it? But it's like, a lot of people got lucky with Bitcoin because when it first came out, I don't think a lot of people were really impressed or really understood the technology or had the technical acumen to really grasp how it could, revolutionize the banking system. It could be applied for insurance companies and real estate, and how individuals could start owning the information, as far as like identity and credit and all this stuff that we're giving out freely now. And it's a lot to grasp. A lot of people were just like, ooh, it looks like, let's get involved, and that's really sad. And that's very sad. And that's why I think more than any other kind of, venture, business model, whatever you want to call it, so many people got scammed within the cryptocurrency community. Why? Because of misinformation and because they were people that already kind of had a risk management issue in some. They were a little bit impulsive because to get involved at such an early stage, you had to be a risk taker, and not everybody really understood what was going on. So you have all these people that are getting screwed over by all these other companies, and then they get into crypto, and then it's just flourishes. I read articles. I mean, a lot of people moved away from MLM, traditional pyramid schemes, and got involved in crypto, and it has really hurt the community because this is something that's supposed to benefit people, and it's turned into a very speculative, a speculative game. And I don't even have a problem with day trading and stuff like that. It's the scams that have ruined it and has tarnished its reputation for a lot of people. Imagine the billions and billions and billions that are lost. And now there's still scams out there. And there's still people getting scammed. The saying, only a fool is easily parted with his money. And God knows I've been a fool more times than anyone should be allowed. But eventually, you learn your lesson. And I've been a fool making my own decisions, When I make investments and stuff, I certainly don't get pulled into something that sounds too good to be true. And people use the model of Bitcoin. Oh, Bitcoin, like OneCoin, bitconnect. Bitcoin started things. If you want to profit like the early days of Bitcoin, you got to do this. And it's like, just do Bitcoin. Just do the main altcoins. You don't have to do all this weird stuff. You know, anytime you make money by referring people, and see, I can't even say referring people is sketchy, because even Bitcoin, the wider the adoption, the more people that get involved in cryptocurrency, the more the price is going to go up. So that's why it has so many of the same basic principles that a lot of MLM and scams run on. So you have to be extremely watchful. In the end, what's the difference? It has to last. By definition, it has to be something that's going to last, that provides value, that's not going to implode. I get it. It has to have some sort of actual utility. So many coins, they're fundraising vehicles with no long-term plan, and they're just running on fumes. They're running on new investor money, and they squander money. And sometimes even businesses that start out with the right mindset and the right spirit turn into scams, because it just becomes so easy to just mess shit up. Anyway, those are my 2 cents about it. Let me know what scam most caught your eye, and how do you perceive, kind of, identifying a scam and separating it from projects that are legitimate, when how to put your money and where to put your money in these kind of situations. It's very frustrating. I can only imagine for new people. I'm very fortunate I didn't get involved in any, just outright scams. We all suffered from the market, but Manacha America, something has to be done. And educating people is the first thing. And that's why I made the video.
Beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, ram, hog, dog. Beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, chicken, turkeys, beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, ram, hog, dog.